Every great fortune begins with a decision so clear and so firm that it leaves no room for hesitation. A definite purpose is not a casual wish, nor is it a vague hope whispered in moments of inspiration. It is a burning desire that grips the mind and refuses to let go. When a person truly knows what they want, the mind begins to organize itself around that objective, filtering opportunities, ideas, and actions in its favor. History shows that men and women who accumulated lasting wealth did not drift into success. They aimed at it with precision. They defined their purpose in clear terms, attached it to a time frame, and infused it with emotion so powerful that quitting became impossible. In 2026, the world will move faster than ever, and only those with a definite direction will avoid being carried away by confusion, distraction, and fear. A definite purpose acts as a compass in an unpredictable environment. Without it, effort is scattered, energy is wasted, and time slips away unnoticed. Many people work hard all their lives, yet never move closer to wealth because their actions lack alignment. They wake up busy but not focused, active but not intentional. When purpose is absent, the mind becomes vulnerable to doubt, opinions of others, and circumstances beyond control. With purpose present, the same mind becomes disciplined, selective, and resilient. Every decision is measured against a single question: does this move me closer to my aim or farther away from it? This clarity alone places an individual far ahead of the crowd, because most people never pause long enough to define what they truly want. Faith is the invisible force that transforms a definite purpose into reality. Faith, in this sense, is not blind belief or superstition. It is a state of mind developed through repetition, conviction, and emotional commitment. When a person consistently affirms their purpose, visualizes its achievement, and acts in harmony with it, the subconscious mind begins to accept it as truth. This acceptance influences behavior, reactions, and even perception of opportunities. Faith gives courage in moments of uncertainty and persistence in times of failure. It allows an individual to continue moving forward even when results are delayed, because the mind is already living in the expectation of success. Relentless faith is especially vital in the journey toward wealth because the path is never straight. There will be rejection, loss, criticism, and periods of apparent stagnation. Those without faith interpret these moments as signs to quit, while those with faith see them as tests of commitment. Every obstacle becomes a lesson rather than a defeat. Faith keeps the purpose alive when evidence seems absent. It sustains action when emotions fluctuate. It anchors the mind when external conditions attempt to shake confidence. In the coming years, as industries evolve and uncertainty becomes common, faith will be the stabilizing force that separates those who persist from those who retreat. A definite purpose backed by faith also demands responsibility. It requires the individual to accept full ownership of their outcomes, refusing to blame circumstances, people, or luck. This responsibility strengthens character and sharpens decision-making. When a person knows that success or failure rests primarily on their own actions, excuses lose their power. Discipline replaces procrastination, and courage replaces fear. Responsibility transforms purpose from a dream into a duty, something that must be honored daily through consistent effort. This mindset alone reshapes habits, because actions are no longer optional. They become necessary expressions of commitment. The mind, once dominated by a clear purpose, begins to attract resources in unexpected ways. Opportunities that once went unnoticed suddenly appear obvious. People with similar ambitions seem to enter one's life at the right moment. Information becomes relevant instead of overwhelming. This is not coincidence, but the result of focused attention. The mind can only recognize what it is trained to seek. When purpose is definite, the mind selectively perceives opportunities aligned with that goal, while filtering out distractions that serve no useful end. This selective awareness is a powerful advantage in a world saturated with noise. Relentless faith reinforces this process by maintaining emotional consistency. Emotional inconsistency is one of the greatest enemies of success. Many individuals feel confident one day and discouraged the next, depending on external events. Faith stabilizes emotions by anchoring them to an internal conviction rather than external outcomes. When faith is strong, temporary setbacks do not alter behavior. Action continues regardless of mood, and consistency becomes a natural habit. Wealth is rarely the result of sudden brilliance. It is more often the product of sustained effort over time, guided by unwavering belief. In 2026, wealth will increasingly favor those who think long-term, while acting decisively in the present. A definite purpose encourages long-term thinking by providing a clear destination. Short-term temptations lose their appeal when weighed against a greater vision. Impulsive decisions give way to strategic choices. This long-term orientation allows individuals to invest time, energy, and resources where they matter most. Faith ensures patience during this process, preventing frustration from sabotaging progress. Together, purpose and faith create a mindset capable of enduring delays without losing momentum. The habit of defining and reaffirming purpose daily strengthens its influence. When purpose is reviewed each morning and each night, it remains fresh and emotionally charged. This practice conditions the subconscious mind to work continuously toward the goal, even when conscious attention is elsewhere. Ideas emerge spontaneously, solutions surface unexpectedly, and intuition becomes sharper. Faith amplifies these effects by removing doubt, allowing the mind to operate without internal resistance. Doubt divides energy, faith concentrates it. Concentrated energy, applied consistently, is the foundation of all great achievements. A definite purpose, backed by relentless faith, also shapes identity. Over time, the individual no longer sees success as something external to be chased, but as an inevitable expression of who they are becoming. Identity influences behavior more powerfully than willpower. When a person identifies as someone destined for success, their actions naturally align with that belief. They choose environments, habits, and relationships that support their purpose. Faith reinforces this identity by providing emotional certainty, making the vision feel real long before it materializes. Those who master habit develop an inner authority that cannot be shaken by criticism or comparison. They no longer measure themselves against others because their standard is their own purpose. This independence of thought is essential for wealth creation, as conformity rarely leads to extraordinary results. Faith protects this independence by reducing the influence of external opinions. When belief is internal, validation from others becomes unnecessary. This mental freedom allows creativity, innovation, and bold decision-making to flourish. Ultimately, a definite purpose backed by relentless faith transforms effort into momentum. What begins as intentional action gradually becomes a natural flow of progress. Resistance decreases as habits align with goals. The individual no longer struggles to stay motivated because purpose pulls them forward. Faith sustains them through uncertainty, and persistence becomes a natural response rather than a forced discipline. This combination creates a powerful internal engine, one that continues to drive progress regardless of external conditions. As 2026 approaches, those who cultivate this habit will find themselves prepared for opportunities others cannot see or seize. They will not wait for perfect conditions because faith assures them that action creates clarity. They will not fear failure because purpose gives meaning to every attempt. In a world where many remain uncertain, distracted, and reactive, the individual with a definite purpose and relentless faith will stand apart, moving steadily toward wealth with confidence, resilience, and unwavering direction. Wealth is never the reward of occasional effort inspired by fleeting enthusiasm. It is the outcome of disciplined daily action, governed by habit and guided by purpose. Motivation is emotional, and emotions are unstable by nature. They rise with excitement and fall with difficulty, praise, or fatigue. Discipline, on the other hand, is deliberate and dependable. It does not wait for the right feeling. It creates results regardless of mood. Those who achieve lasting riches understand that motivation may start the journey, but only discipline carries it to completion. In 2026, when distractions are endless and attention is constantly pulled in competing directions, the individual who masters disciplined daily action will possess an advantage more powerful than talent or intelligence. Discipline begins with the acceptance of a simple truth. Success is a daily practice, not a dramatic event. Many people dream of transformation but resist routine. They seek breakthrough moments while ignoring the small, repeated actions that quietly build momentum. Wealth grows the same way habits grow, through consistency applied over time. Each disciplined action may seem insignificant in isolation, but together they compound into extraordinary results. The disciplined individual understands that progress is often invisible in the early stages, yet they continue acting because discipline is not dependent on immediate reward. Relying on motivation alone is a dangerous strategy because motivation is reactive. It depends on external triggers such as inspiration, encouragement, or temporary success. When these triggers disappear, action stops. Discipline is proactive. It is rooted in decision rather than emotion. When a person decides in advance what must be done each day and commits to doing it regardless of circumstances, they remove negotiation from the process. There is no debate with the self, no waiting for the perfect moment. Action becomes automatic, and consistency replaces struggle. The disciplined mind does not ask whether it feels like working, it asks whether the work aligns with its purpose. This distinction is critical. Feelings change, but purpose remains constant. When daily actions are tied to a clearly defined goal, discipline becomes easier to maintain. The individual no longer views effort as sacrifice, but as investment. Each action is a deposit toward a future outcome. This mindset transforms routine into meaning and effort into progress. One of the greatest benefits of disciplined daily action is the development of self-trust. Each time a person follows through on a commitment to themselves, their confidence grows. They begin to see themselves as reliable, capable, and in control. This self-trust is essential for wealth creation because financial success requires decision-making under uncertainty. Those who lack discipline, often doubt themselves, hesitate, and retreat at the first sign of difficulty. Those who have cultivated discipline move forward with calm assurance, knowing they can rely on their own consistency. Discipline also protects the mind from the chaos of external influence. In a world filled with noise, opinions, and endless information, undisciplined individuals are easily distracted. They jump from idea to idea, strategy to strategy, without giving any one approach sufficient time to succeed. Disciplined individuals choose a course of action and remain committed long enough to evaluate results honestly. They understand that mastery requires focus, and that focus requires the elimination of unnecessary distractions. This ability to concentrate effort is a defining characteristic of all high achievers. Daily discipline creates rhythm, and rhythm creates momentum. When actions are repeated at the same time and in the same manner each day, they require less mental energy. What once felt difficult becomes routine. This conservation of mental energy allows greater focus on creative thinking, problem solving, and strategic planning. Wealth is not created by exhaustion, but by intelligent effort sustained over time. Discipline ensures that energy is directed where it matters most, rather than wasted on indecision or procrastination. In 2026, opportunities will favor those who are prepared before opportunity appears. Discipline is preparation in action. It builds skills, knowledge, and resilience long before they are tested. When opportunity arrives, the disciplined individual is ready to act, while others hesitate or scramble to catch up. This readiness often appears to outsiders as luck, but it is merely the visible result of invisible daily effort. Discipline also strengthens emotional control, which is essential in financial pursuits. Markets fluctuate, plans encounter obstacles, and results are rarely immediate. Those who rely on motivation are easily discouraged by setbacks. Those who rely on discipline continue executing their plan calmly, adjusting strategy when necessary, but never abandoning effort. Emotional stability allows for rational decisions rather than impulsive reactions. This stability protects against fear-driven choices that undermine long-term success. Another powerful effect of disciplined daily action is the compounding of identity. Over time, disciplined behavior reshapes self-image. The individual no longer sees discipline as something they do, but as something they are. This shift in identity is profound. When discipline becomes part of who a person believes themselves to be, consistency no longer requires effort, it becomes natural. Identity-driven behavior is far more sustainable than behavior driven by external pressure or temporary inspiration. Discipline also teaches patience, a quality indispensable to wealth. Many abandon promising paths, because results do not appear quickly enough. Discipline anchors action to process are ather than outcome. The disciplined individual measures success by adherence to their daily plan, not by immediate results. This focus on process reduces frustration and builds resilience. Over time, results inevitably follow, often surpassing expectations because the foundation has been built with care and persistence. The habit of disciplined action reinforces faith in one's purpose. Each day of consistent effort strengthens belief in the possibility of success. Doubt weakens when action continues because action provides evidence of commitment. Faith grows not from wishing, but from doing. When a person sees themselves showing up daily, even when conditions are unfavorable, they begin to believe more deeply in their capacity to succeed. This belief fuels further action, creating a powerful cycle of progress. Discipline also simplifies life by reducing choice fatigue. When decisions about daily actions are made in advance, mental energy is freed for higher-level thinking. The disciplined individual does not waste time deciding whether to work, learn, or improve. These actions are already part of their routine. This simplicity reduces stress and increases efficiency. Wealth creation demands clarity, and clarity is supported by structured habits. Those who master disciplined daily action understand that small improvements, repeated consistently, produce exponential growth. They are not discouraged by slow beginnings because they trust the process. Each day becomes an
opportunity to move slightly closer to their goal.
Over months and years, these small movements accumulate into substantial progress. This long-term perspective is rare, yet it is one of the most reliable predictors of success. Ultimately, discipline replaces the need for constant motivation. Motivation may ignite action, but discipline sustains it. The disciplined individual does not wait to feel inspired. They act, and inspiration often follows. They understand that action creates momentum, and momentum generates enthusiasm. By reversing the common pattern of waiting for motivation before acting, they gain control over their progress. As 2026 unfolds, those who depend on motivation will continue to start and stop, while those who rely on discipline will move steadily forward. The difference will not be visible in a single day, but it will become undeniable over time. Disciplined daily action, practiced without exception and guided by purpose, transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. It is this quiet, persistent habit that turns ambition into reality and potential into wealth. Riches flow to those who become valuable in a way that cannot be easily replaced, and value is created not by knowing a little about many things, but by mastering something that solves a meaningful problem for others. Specialized knowledge is the kind of knowledge that is organized, applied, and directed toward a definite purpose. It is not the information stored in books or collected that rough, casual learning. It is knowledge that lives in action. In every era, wealth has followed those who understood how to develop expertise that the marketplace needs and is willing to reward. As 2026 approaches, this truth becomes even more powerful because the world no longer pays for effort alone. It pays for rare ability combined with practical results. General knowledge may make a person interesting, but specialized knowledge makes a person indispensable. Many individuals spend years accumulating certificates, degrees, and information, yet remain financially stagnant because their knowledge lacks focus. They know many things but master none. The wealthy individual chooses a narrow field, studies it deeply, and applies it intelligently. This depth creates confidence, authority, and credibility. When a person becomes known for a specific capability, opportunities begin to seek them out rather than the other way around. The marketplace rewards clarity of value, and clarity is born from specialization. Specialized knowledge must be continuously cultivated. The world evolves, industries change, and skills lose relevance. Those who rely on outdated knowledge soon find themselves struggling to compete. The habit of ongoing learning is essential, not as an academic exercise, but as a strategic investment. Each new insight, skill, or improvement strengthens value and increases earning potential. The individual who commits to learning every day, even in small amounts, gradual. Why separates themselves from the majority who stop learning once formal education ends? The power of specialized knowledge lies in its application. Knowledge unused is potential wasted. Many people know what to do, but never act on what they know. Those who grow rich apply their knowledge decisively, even imperfectly. They test ideas, refine methods, and learn through experience. This process transforms theory into skill. Over time, applied knowledge becomes intuition, allowing faster and better decisions. Experience combined with learning creates wisdom, and wisdom commands premium rewards. In 2026, access to information will be universal, but wisdom will remain rare. Anyone can search for answers, but few can interpret, apply, and adapt information effectively. This is where specialized knowledge becomes irreplaceable. The individual who understands not just what to do, but how and why to do it holds a powerful advantage. They can solve problems others cannot, foresee challenges before they arise, and create solutions that save time, money, or effort. Such value cannot be ignored by the marketplace. Specialized knowledge also strengthens independence. Those who rely solely on general skills are easily replaced, often forced to compete on price rather than value. Those with rare skills negotiate from a position of strength. They choose opportunities rather than accept whatever is offered. This independence is a form of wealth in itself, granting freedom of choice and control over one's direction. It reduces fear because the individual knows they possess something of substance that can be exchanged for income in many forms. The development of specialized knowledge requires deliberate focus. It demands saying no to distractions and resisting the temptation to chase every new trend. Focus allows depth, and depth creates mastery. Mastery is not achieved through occasional effort, but through sustained practice and refinement. The individual committed to mastery accepts temporary discomfort for long-term gain. They study when others relax, practice when others procrastinate, and improve while others remain stagnant. Over time, this commitment compounds into extraordinary capability. Faith plays a crucial role in this process. Early in the journey, the rewards of specialization may not be visible. Progress may feel slow, and external validation may be absent. Faith sustains effort during this phase. Faith in the value of learning, faith in the long-term reward of mastery, and faith in one's ability to grow. Those who abandon learning too soon never experience its full benefit. Those who persist eventually reach a point where their value becomes obvious and demand increases rapidly. Specialized knowledge also enhances creativity. When a person understands a field deeply, they can combine ideas in innovative ways. Innovation often occurs at the intersection of mastery and imagination. The expert sees possibilities invisible to the novice. This advantage leads to new products, services, or methods that further increase value. In a competitive world, innovation fueled by expertise is one of the most reliable paths to wealth. Another important aspect of specialized knowledge is its ability to scale. When knowledge is systematized, it can be taught, replicated, or leveraged through technology. This allows one person's expertise to impact many, multiplying income potential. Whether through leadership, mentorship, digital platforms, or systems, specialized knowledge can generate value far beyond individual effort. Those who recognize this leverage move from trading time for money to building assets that continue to produce results. The habit of specialization also shapes identity. Over time, the individual no longer sees themselves as someone trying to succeed, but as an expert who delivers results. This identity influences behavior, confidence, and decision-making. People respond differently to those who carry themselves with quiet authority rooted in competence. Opportunities increase, partnerships form, and trust grows. This social capital further amplifies wealth-building potential. In 2026, the speed of change will reward adaptability grounded in expertise. Those with shallow knowledge will struggle to keep up, while those with deep understanding will adapt more easily because they grasp fundamentals. Specialized knowledge provides a stable foundation upon which new skills can be added. It allows learning to be efficient because new information is integrated into an existing framework rather than absorbed randomly. The pursuit of specialized knowledge also cultivates humility and discipline. Mastery reveals how much there is still to learn. This awareness keeps arrogance in check and encourages continuous improvement. Discipline ensures that learning remains consistent even when progress feels slow. Together, humility and discipline create a mindset capable of sustained growth, which is essential for long-term wealth. Those who commit to building irreplaceable value through specialized knowledge eventually reach a point where competition becomes irrelevant. They are no longer compared to many, they are compared to few. This scarcity increases demand and earning power. The individual becomes known not just for what they do, but for how well they do it. Reputation becomes an asset, attracting opportunities without constant self-promotion. Ultimately, specialized knowledge transforms work into purpose. Effort becomes meaningful because it is aligned with mastery and contribution. Wealth follows naturally as a byproduct of value creation. The individual no longer chases money, they focus on excellence, and money responds. This shift in focus reduces stress and increases satisfaction, creating a sustainable path to success. As 2026 unfolds, those who invest in developing rare and valuable skills will stand apart in a crowded world. While others compete for attention, they will command respect. While others seek shortcuts, they will rely on substance. Building specialized knowledge that creates irreplaceable value is not the fastest path, but it is the most reliable. It transforms ordinary potential into extraordinary worth and lays a foundation for wealth that endures beyond trends, markets, and time. The mind is the control center of all achievement, and wealth begins or ends with the thoughts a person allows to dominate their consciousness. Thoughts are forces, and when combined with emotion, they become powerful enough to shape behavior, decisions, and outcomes. Fear and doubt are the most destructive of these forces, not because they are dramatic, but because they operate quietly, weakening confidence and delaying action. In 2026, when uncertainty will be common and change constant, the ability to control thoughts and emotions will determine who advances and who remains stuck. Those who master this inner discipline will move forward with clarity and confidence, while others hesitate, overwhelmed by invisible resistance. Fear is not an enemy by nature, it is a signal. Yet most people misinterpret this signal and allow it to dominate their choices. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of loss, and fear of the unknown are among the greatest barriers to wealth. These fears do not disappear with success. They must be understood and managed. The individual who learns to observe fear without obeying it gains a powerful advantage. Instead of stopping, progress, fear becomes an indicator of growth, signaling that one is moving beyond familiar limits. Doubt operates even more subtly than fear. It whispers questions that undermine confidence and delay decisions. It disguises itself as caution, logic, or realism, convincing the mind to wait, prepare more, or seek reassurance. While preparation has value, endless hesitation drains momentum. Doubt divides energy by pulling attention in conflicting directions. When doubt is present, action weakens and results suffer. Controlling doubt requires conscious effort, because doubt feeds on inaction and uncertainty. Action, even imperfect action, is one of the most effective antidotes to doubt. Emotional control does not mean emotional suppression. Emotions are natural responses, and attempting to eliminate them creates inner conflict. Control means awareness and choice. It means recognizing an emotion without allowing it to dictate behavior. The disciplined individual acknowledges fear, frustration, or anxiety, then chooses action aligned with purpose rather than reaction driven by emotion. This ability to pause and choose is a defining trait of successful individuals. It separates impulse from intention and transforms emotional energy into focused effort. The subconscious mind plays a crucial role in emotional control. It accepts repeated thoughts as truth and shapes behavior accordingly. When fear-based thoughts are allowed to repeat unchecked, the subconscious adopts them as beliefs. These beliefs then influence decisions automatically, often without conscious awareness. To counter this, the mind must be deliberately fed with constructive thoughts. Affirmations, visualization, and focused reflection are tools that reprogram emotional responses. When the subconscious is conditioned with confidence and purpose, emotional reactions gradually shift from fear to faith. In 2026, information overload will intensify emotional volatility. Constant exposure to news, opinions, and comparisons can trigger anxiety and self-doubt. Those who fail to manage their mental environment will find it increasingly difficult to maintain focus. Controlling thoughts includes controlling inputs. The disciplined individual chooses what they consume mentally, limiting exposure to negativity and prioritizing material that reinforces confidence, learning, and growth. This selective attention protects emotional balance and preserves clarity. Another essential aspect of emotional control is self-talk. The language a person uses internally shapes perception and behavior. Negative self-talk reinforces doubt and fear, while constructive self-talk builds resilience and determination. Many individuals unknowingly sabotage themselves through harsh inner criticism. Replacing this with intentional, supportive dialogue strengthens emotional stability. When challenges arise, the controlled mind responds with problem-solving rather than self-blame. Confidence is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it. True confidence grows from evidence, and evidence is created through action. Each time a person confronts fear and follows through, their confidence increases. Over time, this creates a positive cycle where action reduces fear and fear no longer dictates behavior. This cycle is essential for wealth creation, which requires risk, decision-making, and persistence under uncertainty. Emotional control also enhances judgment. When emotions run high, decision-making suffers. Fear leads to avoidance, while excitement can lead to recklessness. The controlled mind maintains balance, evaluating situations objectively. This balance allows for calculated risk rather than impulsive behavior. In financial matters, this distinction is critical. Many losses occur not from lack of knowledge, but from emotional reactions. Those who remain calm and deliberate gain a consistent advantage. The habit of reflection strengthens emotional control. Regularly reviewing actions, decisions, and emotional responses builds self-awareness. Awareness is the first step toward control. By observing patterns of fear or doubt, the individual can address their root causes. Reflection transforms mistakes into lessons rather than sources of shame. This learning mindset reduces emotional intensity and fosters growth. Faith plays a vital role in overcoming fear and doubt. Faith provides an emotional anchor, grounding the mind in belief rather than uncertainty. When faith is strong, setbacks are interpreted as temporary and instructive rather than final. This perspective reduces emotional volatility and sustains effort. Faith does not eliminate challenges, but it changes their meaning. Challenges become part of the journey rather than threats to identity. Controlling emotions also strengthens relationships, which are essential to wealth creation. Fear and insecurity often manifest as defensiveness or aggression, damaging trust. Emotional stability fosters clear communication, cooperation, and leadership. People are naturally drawn to those who remain calm under pressure. This trust creates opportunities, partnerships, and support networks that amplify success. The ability to control thoughts and emotions is a skill developed through practice, not a trait bestowed at birth. Each moment presents a choice between reaction and response. Over time, choosing response becomes habitual. This habit reshapes character and destiny. The individual becomes less reactive to external circumstances and more guided by internal purpose. In 2026, rapid change will test emotional resilience. Those who lack control will be swept by fear, constantly adjusting to external pressures. Those who have mastered their inner world will navigate change with confidence, adapting without panic. This inner stability allows for strategic thinking and sustained effort, both essential for wealth creation. The controlled mind also attracts opportunity, confidence, clarity, and Millionaire, signal capability. Others trust those who appear centered and decisive. This trust opens doors that remain closed to those ruled by doubt. Emotional control becomes visible in demeanor, communication, and decision-making. It silently communicates strength and reliability. Ultimately, wealth is not merely a financial state, but a reflection of inner order. A chaotic mind produces chaotic results. A disciplined mind produces consistent progress. By mastering thoughts and emotions, the individual removes the greatest obstacles to success. Fear loses its power, doubt fades, and action becomes deliberate and confident. As 2026 approaches, those who cultivate emotional mastery will stand apart. They will not be immune to fear or doubt, but they will no longer be controlled by them. Their thoughts will be aligned with purpose, their emotions guided by choice, and their actions driven by clarity. This inner discipline transforms uncertainty into opportunity and ambition into achievement, laying the foundation for wealth that is both lasting and self-directed. No individual ever builds great wealth entirely alone because progress accelerates when minds unite around a common purpose. The principle of the mastermind is rooted in the simple truth that when two or more people coordinate their knowledge, experience, and energy in harmony, they create a force greater than the sum of its parts. This force is not merely intellectual, it is emotional, strategic, and motivational. In E, very major achievement throughout history, there has been a network of aligned minds working together, challenging one another, supporting one another, and compensating for individual weaknesses. In 2026, when complexity will increase and opportunities will demand collaboration, those who learn to form strategic alliances will advance faster and farther than those who attempt to succeed in isolation. A mastermind begins with alignment of purpose. When individuals share a clear objective, their combined thinking becomes focused rather than scattered. Each person contributes unique perspectives, skills, and experiences, creating a pool of intelligence far richer than any single mind could produce. Problems that appear overwhelming to one individual often become manageable when examined collectively. This shared focus reduces blind spots and accelerates decision-making. The mastermind transforms uncertainty into clarity by exposing ideas to constructive evaluation. Strategic alliances are not formed by chance, they are built through intention and integrity. The quality of a mastermind depends on the character and commitment of its members. Those who bring honesty, discipline, and a growth mindset elevate the group, while those driven by ego or self-interest weaken it. Successful individuals seek alliances with those who challenge them intellectually and ethically, not merely those who agree with them. This dynamic tension fosters growth and prevents stagnation. One of the greatest benefits of a mastermind is accountability. When individuals commit to shared goals and regularly report progress, consistency improves. Accountability transforms intention into action. Knowing that others expect progress encourages discipline and follow-through. This external structure supports internal commitment, making it easier to maintain momentum. Over time, accountability strengthens self-discipline and builds confidence. A mastermind also multiplies learning. Each member brings specialized knowledge, reducing the time required to acquire insights through trial and error. Mistakes become shared lessons rather than isolated failures. This collective learning accelerates growth and reduces risk. In rapidly changing environments, such as those expected in 2026, the ability to learn quickly and adapt is invaluable. The mastermind becomes a living system of continuous improvement. Emotional support is another powerful aspect of strategic alliances. The pursuit of wealth involves uncertainty, setbacks, and periods of doubt. Isolation magnifies these challenges, while connection reduces their impact. In a mastermind, encouragement balances criticism, and shared experience normalizes struggle. This emotional resilience sustains effort during difficult phases, preventing discouragement from derailing progress. Strategic alliances also expand opportunity. Networks create access. Through relationships, individuals gain exposure to resources, information, and possibility otherwise unavailable. Opportunities often arise not from formal channels, but from conversations among trusted peers. The mastermind becomes a bridge between potential and reality, connecting ideas with execution. This connectivity is a significant advantage in competitive environments. Trust is the foundation of any effective mastermind. Without trust, communication becomes guarded, and collaboration suffers. Trust develops through consistency, transparency, and mutual respect. When members feel safe to share ideas and vulnerabilities, creativity flourishes. Honest feedback becomes a tool for refinement rather than criticism. This trust allows the group to function as a unified entity rather than a collection of individuals. The diversity within a mastermind enhances its effectiveness. Different backgrounds, skills, and viewpoints enrich discussion and prevent groupthink. Diversity challenges assumptions and broadens perspective. When managed with respect, these differences become strengths. In 2026, as global and cross-disciplinary collaboration becomes more common, the ability to work effectively with diverse minds will be essential. A mastermind also sharpens vision. Exposure to ambitious peers raises standards and expands belief in what is possible. Seeing others pursue bold goals normalizes ambition and reduces self-imposed limitations. This shared aspiration elevates individual performance. The environment created by a mastermind encourages excellence and discow. Rages complacency. Strategic alliances require contribution, not consumption. The most successful members approach the group with a mindset of service, seeking to add value rather than extract it. This generosity strengthens the collective and builds goodwill. Over time, contribution is reciprocated, creating a cycle of mutual benefit. Wealth grows more reliably in environments of cooperation than competition. Leadership often emerges naturally within a mastermind. Individuals take initiative, facilitate discussion, and guide direction based on expertise rather than authority. This distributed leadership enhances adaptability. The group responds dynamically to challenges, leveraging strengths as needed. This flexibility is particularly valuable in uncertain conditions. The mastermind principle also fosters discipline in thinking. Regular discussion encourages clarity and precision. Ideas are refined through dialogue, assumptions tested, and plans improved. This intellectual rigor reduces error and increases effectiveness. Decisions made collectively often carry greater confidence and commitment. In 2026, technology will enable unprecedented connectivity, but meaningful alliances will still require intentional effort. Digital tools can facilitate communication, but trust and alignment must be cultivated deliberately. Successful individuals will use technology to enhance collaboration, not replace it. The human element remains central to effective masterminds. Strategic alliances also reinforce ethical standards. Shared values create a framework for decision-making. When individuals hold one another accountable to these values, integrity is preserved. This ethical consistency builds reputation and long-term trust, which are critical assets in wealth creation. The mastermind principle transforms competition into collaboration. Instead of viewing others as threats, individuals see them as partners in growth. This mindset reduces fear and fosters innovation. Collaboration expands possibilities beyond what competition alone can achieve. Ultimately, wealth is accelerated through synergy. When minds unite with purpose, discipline, and trust, progress becomes exponential. The mastermind amplifies effort, sharpens thinking, and sustains motivation. It turns ambition into shared momentum. As 2026 approaches, those who intentionally build strategic alliances will navigate complexity with confidence. They will think better, act faster, and recover more quickly from setbacks. While others struggle alone, they will advance together. The power of a mastermind lies not only in shared intelligence, but in shared commitment to growth, excellence, and achievement. Persistence is the quiet force that turns intention into inevitability, and success rarely belongs to the most talented, but to the one who refuses to stop. Every worthwhile goal demands endurance, because progress is often delayed, uneven, and disguised as difficulty. Many begin the journey toward wealth with enthusiasm, only to retreat when effort outpaces reward. Persistence is what separates those who merely attempt from those who ultimately achieve. In 2026, when rapid change and uncertainty will test patience, the individual who has trained themselves to persist will hold an advantage that no external condition can erase. Persistence is not stubborn repetition of failing methods, but intelligent continuation guided by learning. It requires adaptability without surrender. Each setback provides feedback, revealing what must be adjusted, improved, or abandoned. The persistent individual listens to this feedback without allowing it to weaken resolve. Instead of interpreting obstacles as signals to quit, they interpret them as instructions to refine their approach. This mindset transforms failure into educat, ion and effort into progress. Most people underestimate the power of time combined with consistent effort. They expect immediate results and grow discouraged when progress appears slow. Persistence reframes time as an ally rather than an enemy. The persistent individual understands that mastery, trust, and wealth compound gradually. Each day of effort may seem insignificant, but together They build momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. This long-term perspective reduces frustration and sustains motivation. Doubt is persistence's greatest adversary. When results are delayed, doubt questions the value of continued effort. The persistent individual counters doubt with commitment to process rather than outcome. They measure success by consistency of action, not by immediate reward. This focus on process stabilizes effort and prevents emotional fluctuations from dictating behavior. Over time, this stability creates reliability, a trait highly valued in every field. Persistence also strengthens character. Each decision to continue, despite discomfort, builds resilience. Resilience increases capacity for effort, allowing the individual to handle greater challenges. This growth is cumulative. What once seemed overwhelming becomes manageable. The persistent individual develops confidence rooted in experience rather than hope. This confidence fuels further persistence, creating a reinforcing cycle. In 2026, opportunities will favor those who stay engaged while others withdraw. Markets fluctuate, trends shift, and strategies evolve. Those who quit at the first sign of difficulty remove themselves from the game. Persistence keeps one present and adaptable. It allows individuals to benefit from eventual improvements and new opportunities that emerge only after challenges pass. Persistence also enhances skill acquisition. Mastery requires repetition, correction, and refinement. Those who persist practice longer, learn deeper, and perform better. This depth creates expertise that commands respect and reward. Talent may open doors, but persistence keeps them open. Without persistence, talent remains underdeveloped and potential unrealized. Another dimension of persistence is emotional endurance. The journey toward wealth involves rejection, criticism, and uncertainty. These experiences can erode motivation if not managed effectively. Persistence requires emotional regulation, allowing the individual to experience disappointment without surrender. This emotional maturity distinguishes those who endure from those who retreat. Faith reinforces persistence. Faith provides meaning to effort when results are not yet visible. It assures the individual that continued action has value, even in uncertainty. This belief sustains momentum during difficult periods. Faith does not eliminate obstacles, but it changes their interpretation. Obstacles become tests of commitment rather than signs of failure. Persistence also attracts opportunity. Consistency signals reliability. Others trust those who demonstrate sustained effort. This trust leads to partnerships, recommendations, and access. Over time, persistence builds reputation, an intangible asset that compounds like capital. Reputation reduces friction and accelerates progress. The habit of persistence simplifies decision-making. When quitting is removed as an option, focus shifts to improvement. Energy is directed towards solutions rather than escape. This clarity increases efficiency and reduces stress. The persistent individual invests fully in chosen paths, extracting maximum learning and benefit. Persistence also encourages innovation. When initial approaches fail, persistent individuals seek alternatives. This search leads to creativity and discovery. Many breakthroughs occur only after repeated attempts. Those who persist long enough encounter insights unavailable to those who quit early. In 2026, persistence will be tested by constant novelty and distraction. The temptation to abandon effort for new opportunities will be strong. Persistence requires discernment, distinguishing between necessary adaptation and unnecessary abandonment. The persistent individual evaluates change thoughtfully, adjusting strategy without surrendering purpose. Persistence transforms adversity into advantage. Each challenge endured strengthens resilience and confidence. Over time, adversity becomes less intimidating, and the individual approaches new challenges with composure. This composure enhances decision-making and performance. Ultimately, persistence makes success inevitable. While timing may vary, continued effort aligned with learning and purpose leads to progress. Those who persist outlast obstacles and competitors alike. They remain when others depart, gaining experience and opportunity by default. As 2026 approaches, those who cultivate persistence will navigate uncertainty with determination. They will not be immune to doubt or fatigue, but they will refuse to quit. Their commitment to continued action will carry them through delays and difficulties. Persistence practiced daily and guided by purpose, transforms ambition into achievement and effort into lasting wealth.